We've made it. Its process of elimination is back. It's been, I had to check. It's been definitely over a month. Process of elimination fans or enjoyers of me reading, I guess, on the channel for the visual novels, I apologize. It's just it had to be on the back burner as we got through October stuff. We had so much October stuff to get through, obviously Spooktober games and everything. But we are back. We're gonna read probably about 2 hours or so today, but just as the tail end here of the stream. But I promise we'll get more process of elimination here, not only throughout the month of November here, but also this week probably. We'll have at least probably one more big process of elimination stream so that we can plow through quite a bit of it. I'm gonna have to be remembering a bit of things that had gone on. I didn't check. I unfortunately didn't check the archive to see exactly where we stopped. I know, obviously, the big things and the plot points. And I think we were chased back into the house because we went out to do things, and whatever the case is, I'm sure I'll start to remember. I do remember, I think the last stream, we split up into 2 groups. And then the one group we were with had that spike room trap thing that we thwarted and didn't die from. I think that was actually in the last stream. So I think we're exploring the mansion because we are basically held inside of the mansion. I think they were like, oh, we could like try to leave, but then there's those robots or whatever that basically whoever's trying to get at us seems like they want us to stay inside the mansion. I think is the plot relevant thing to all that. I think that's where we're at. So yeah, we're gonna probably just read nothing too long, but probably a couple hours here to finish out the stream. And then, like I said, more process of elimination throughout the week. But after we finish setting up the surveillance cameras, we decide to have dinner in the dining room. Once again, we gather around the refectory table, salivating in anticipation of gourmet's cooking. Techie, the man of the hour, takes the seat of honor. His PC is connected to his tablet as he clatters away at the keyboard. He appears to be setting things up so that all the cameras can be monitored from the tablet. My curiosity gets the best of me, so I go over to see what he's doing. How's it going? Does it look like the cameras are going to function all right? Yes, in fact, the one in the entrance hall is already operational. Take a look. Techie takes his tablet off the table and shows it to me. There on the display is the entrance hall, the manor's sole means of entry and exit. With this, we should be able to prevent the culprit from sneaking out of here. Dang, this is one killer setup you got here. Bet you can make a transmitter so we can radio back to HQ. What do you say? That's beyond my capabilities. I just combined the phone's recording functions with our D-pad's comm system. There's nothing special, really. So modest. Security cams, instant footage. I can never make stuff like this. Instant noodles? Now that's something I excel at. Come off it, will ya? This food looks like instant noodles to ya? I mean, get a load of this feast. Rowdy's right. While there are fewer dishes than last night, everything is brand new, and they all look delicious. The crystal clear soup in particular is exquisite with its flavorful seafood stock. Oh, I thought I hit the button. I was like waiting.
このスープ、魚介の風味が強くて 肉の魚も舌の上でホロホロとほぐれて感動的な美味しさです。材料も調味料も限られているのにすごいですね。
The flavorful broth, the melt in your mouth fish, it's delicious. I'm amazed you made this with so few ingredients and seasonings.
あらあら、そこまで褒められると恥ずかしくなっちゃうわね。でも、本当に簡単な料理なのよ。
I gotta get back to used to waiting fully. Oh, stop with the praise or I'll turn red as a beet. I'll have you know that this is a very simple dish.
冷凍のお魚は冷蔵庫にたくさん入っていたから、それをゆっくりと時間をかけて煮込んだだけ。
There was plenty of fish in the freezer, so I went ahead and simmered it nice and slow.
美味しい料理のコツは材料にこだわることよりも焦らず丁寧に手間暇をかけてあげることなの。操作と同じでね。
The trick to a delicious meal isn't being picky about ingredients. It's patience, thoroughness, time, and effort, just like an investigation.
だからみんなも隠し通路が見つからなかったからって焦っちゃダメよ。手間暇かけた美味しいスープも焦って強火で煮込んじゃったら風味が台無しだからね。
So nobody get frustrated over not finding the hidden passage today, okay? Upping the heat on a soup you've labored over will only spoil it.
いやー、こんなディナーが毎晩食べれるならあと 2,3 日は閉じ込められてても全然いいかな。
I'm totally down to be locked up in here a few more days if it means we get to eat like this every night.
俺も同感。人もいっぱいで賑やかだし、楽しい旅行にでも来た気分だよ。
Likewise. Gang's all here and the party never stops. It's almost like we're on vacation.
不謹慎ですわよ、2人とも。特に渋谷さんは今日罠で死にかけたというじゃありませんの。
Have some decorum, you two. Especially you downtown. You nearly died in a trap today.
入り口のシャンデリアの件もありますし、他にも罠が仕掛けられているかもしれませんわ。早く隠し通路を見つけて脱出しなければ危険ですわよ。
Then there's the chandelier, and who knows what else. It's far too dangerous. Here, hence why we must find that hidden passage and escape pronto.
お堅いね、家族ちゃん。楽しくおしゃべりしていた方が隠し通路のアイディアも湧くかもしれないじゃん。
Get that stick out of your butt, Poshy. Some casual chit-chat might bring up a few good ideas for finding that hidden passage.
根を詰めすぎずに気楽に行こうよ。気楽にさ。
Like, quit being so serious and chill. You know that word. Question mark. Chill?
雑談でアイデアが浮かべば誰も苦労はしませんわよ。
How simple life would be if idle chatter produced quality thoughts.
俺は渋谷ちゃんの意見も一理あると思うけどね。
Well, I, for one, think downtown might be onto something.
はあ？冗談も休みおっしゃい。
What? Please, enough with your jests.
でも家族さん、渋谷さんは実際に雑談を武器に事件を解決に導いて序列を上げてきたんだよ。
But aren't you aware, Posh? Solving cases via conversation is how downtown has moved up in the ranks. It's our primary weapon, so to speak.
雑談を武器に？上流階級をからかうつもりですの？
Conversation? A weapon? Is this meant to be some sort of jab against high society?
からかうだなんてとんでもない。正真正銘の事実さ。
Not at all. I'm merely stating the facts.
ねえ、無能くん。何か考え事をしようと思ったとき、無音の空間に閉じこもることと、少し賑やかな街並みで散歩すること。君はどちらが有効だと思うかな？
Answer me this, incompetent. When you need to think, which works better for you? Hiding away someplace quiet or traversing busy streets?
無音の空間ですかね。賑やかな場所で、しかも歩いていたりしたら気が散ってしまいますし。
Somewhere quiet. Can't collect my thoughts if I'm walking around, let alone through a busy area.
そうだろうね。でも実は著名な経営者の多くは後者。賑やかな場所を選ぶというデータがあるんだ。
I thought as much, but the data shows that many distinguished business leaders prefer the latter, livelier option. Really?
なんですって？消せませんわ。上流階級にもわかるよう説明なさい。
Why would that be? I simply cannot comprehend. Explain it in nobleman's terms, if you please.
脳に適度な刺激を与えてくれるからだね。
It's because it provides your brain with the appropriate amount of stimulation.
もちろん一つの物事に集中したいときは雑音が少なくて思考が乱されない方がいい。でも発想の幅を広げたいのなら一点に集中しすぎるのは視野が狭まって逆効果なんだ。
Obviously, background noise will distract if you need to concentrate, but if you want to broaden your mind, too much focus can work against you.
下道くんの言う通りだよ。脳が最も活性化するのは新しい刺激を受けたとき。つまり雑談程度の軽い刺激を脳に与え続けた方が新たな発想を導きやすい。
It says Renegade says, the brain is most active with new stimuli, so continuous engagement, i.e. talking, makes it easier to develop fresh ideas.
それに雑談しやすいということは各自の知る情報を共有しやすいということでもあるからね。油断すると怠りがちな情報共有がより円滑になるんだ。
The more we converse, the easier it is for each of us to share what we know. This facilitates an otherwise neglected exchange of information.
事実、渋谷さんが関わった事件の平均的な解決速度は同盟内3位。組織の創始者である始祖探偵ヴィドック、実質的なリーダーである理想さんに次ぐ速度を誇っている。
In fact, Downtown is the third fastest in the DA at solving cases. Only founding detective Vidiok and Ideal, our de facto chief, exceeded her. I forget. Yeah, there we go. We can go into founding detective. A deeply mysterious pioneering detective by the name of Vidiok. Ranked number 1, he is the main player behind the creation of the DA. Although his powers of insight are top class, he's never seen in the spotlight. He generally communicates via phone, scrambling his voice as he does so. As a guiding force of the DA, he typically plays a dedicated support role in investigations for major cases, which have been on the rise. During the Dayless Night incident 13 years ago, he preempted the schemes of the main culprit, Lucifer, gaining worldwide recognition for his role in minimizing damages and casualties.
他者との交流を深めることで自分自身だけでなく周囲にまで好影響を及ぼす渋谷さん独自の推理方法はコミュニケーション推理として同盟内でも評価が高いんだよ。
Downtown deepens her interactions with others, both to her benefit and theirs. This social deduction is highly regarded within the DA.
まさかそこまで考えられた推理方法だったなんて。あなた見かけによらず切れ者なんですのね。
To think so much thought lies behind that method, there's far more to you than meets the eye.
いや、そこまでしっかりと考えてはなかったけどね。つうかうちの場合、雑談してなきゃ頭が疲れるってだけだし。
I mean, it's not like I put that much thought into it. My head just goes into sleep mode if there's no tea to spill.
でもほら、ミステリーものでも脇役の何気ない発言でピーンときたりするじゃん。それと同じで、一人で考え込むよりも会話があった方がいいんじゃないかなって思うわけよ。
You know how in mysteries, a side character will say whatevs and something clicks into place? That's why I prefer group chats over going solo.
コミュニケーション推理か。
Social deduction, is it? I return to my seat. Armor sits next to me, deep in thought.
我も負けてられん。独自の推理方法を身につけるのである。
I too must devise a unique deduction technique of my own.
脳に刺激を与えるのがポイントみたいだし、簡単な運動をしながら考え事をするのもありかもね。
Well, if the idea is to stimulate your brain, maybe some light exercise could help clear your mind.
つまり筋トレ推理か。よし、今夜早速試してみるのである。
Ah, workout deduction. Magnificent. I shall put it to the test this very night.
筋トレに熱中しすぎて推理が二の次になってしまわないようにね。
Just remember not to focus too much on the exercise or you'll forget to do any actual thinking.
だが、トレーニングとは己との戦い。戦いにおいて雑念を抱くなど命取りではないのか。
But to train is to battle against the self. Would it not prove fatal to ruminate on ideal thoughts in the heat of combat?
そう考えちゃうならやっぱり向いてないね。
If that's the way you see it, maybe you just aren't cut out for this.
実際塩梅が難しいと思うよ。僕は渋谷さんと一緒に事件を捜査したことがあるんだけど、ああ見えて彼女かなり周囲を見ていてね。
It's a bit tricky to get right. I've worked a case with Downtown before. and she's actually pretty attentive to her surroundings.
空気を読むのがうまいっていうのか、とにかく邪魔にならない程度に話しかけるのがとても上手に感じたんだ。
You could say she has a knack for picking up on social cues. Anyway, it's obvious she excels at talking to people without bothering them.
そういえば2階の穴から抜け出した後、我が自分を責めようとした時、真っ先に彼女が注意してくれたな。そのおかげでへこみすぎずに済んだのである。
Come to think of it, when I reproached myself after we eluded the spike trap, she chided me for it, preventing me from growing overly dispirited.
ホームズさんが死んだ時も僕らを叱ってくれたよね。あれもきっと渋谷さんなりの優しさなんだって思うよ。
She also scolded us back when Holmes died. That's downtown's way of being kind, I'm sure of it. Man, they're really talking up downtown. She really is the greatest, isn't she? It'd be really bad if something, bad were to happen to her. It'd be really unfortunate.
実はね、無能君だから教える話なんだけど。
Right, about that. I'm just going to come out and say it since it's you incompetent.
渋谷さんはお友達を八つ崎港に殺されているそうだから、余計に仲間意識が強いと思うんだ。
But Downtown's friend was actually killed by the quartering Duke. It's why she gets so weirdly fixated on camaraderie.
友達を八つ崎港に？
The quartering Duke killed her friend? Cough, cough. Someone's coughing echoes in the dining room. Oh, something better not happening to her. Bookworm is covering her mouth, looking pale in the face. Mystic stands behind her, patting her back with concern.
大丈夫か、ブン。
Are you alright, Bookie?
あんな恐ろしい目にあったばかりなんだ。食べられないなら無理して食べなくてもいいんだぞ。
You have just endured a distressing experience. There's no need to push yourself if you are unable to eat.
別に平気です。せっかく作ってくださったのに残すなんて申し訳ないので全部食べます。と言って少女はスプーンを手に取った。
It's fine. After all the effort that went into this food, it would be a shame not to enjoy it, said the girl, taking up her spoon.
私の前では強がらなくていい。お前の記憶力は同盟でも屈指なんだ。
There's no need to put on a tough front with me. Even in the Detective Alliance, your powers of recollection are superb.
昨日の凄惨な現場に今日の強烈な罠。連日で刺激的な光景を目の当たりにすればキャパを超えて当然だろう。
Yesterday's gruesome scene, today's deadly trap. Small wonder that you're at your limit after witnessing such horrors in quick succession. Mystic gives a gentle smile as he takes Bookworm's trembling hands into his own. She gives him a silent nod before the two of them stand.
食事の途中ですまないが、私たちは一足早く部屋へ戻らせてもらう。後ほど片付けに来るから、食器はそのままにしておいてくれ。
Our apologies for leaving early, but we will be retiring for the night. You may leave our plates where they are. I'll return to clean them up.
文学さんは大丈夫なんですか？まさか食事に毒でも。
Is Bookworm okay? The food wasn't poisoned, was it?
安心してくれ。そのようなものは入っていない。一言で言うなら、記憶力の弊害だよ。
Nothing of the sort, I assure you. To be brief, it is an adverse effect of her memory.
記憶力の弊害？
An adverse effect?
また今度説明しよう。諸君、騒がせてすまなかったな。食事を続けてくれ。
I shall explain another time. Again, our apologies for disturbing you all. Please, continue dining. With that, they leave the room. Everyone's minds must be on Mystic and Bookworm. Our chatter dies down as we eat in silence. Afterward, we all pitch in to clean up before going our separate ways.
無能ちゃん、この後何か用事あるかしら？
Oh, incompetent? Are you busy after this? Gourmet calls to me right before I leave. Techie's with her, balancing his tablet and laptop on his knees. These two make a bit of an odd couple.
まだ言っていない書斎を見ておこうと思っていたくらいで用事はないですけど、どうかしたんですか？
I thought about taking a look at the study, but I don't have anything really planned. What's up?
リビングに監視カメラを確認するためのタブレットを設置しようと思うのだけど、家具を移動させる必要があるから男手が欲しいの。
We want to set up the tablet in the living room so we can check the security cams, but we need one of the guys to help us move the furniture.
武装さんと飛脚さんにはうっかり電子機器を壊してしまいそうだからと断られまして。
Armor and Doleful both refused. They were worried they would inadvertently break my electronics.
それはそうかもね。もちろん手伝うのは全然構わないよ。
They might have a point there. I'd be happy to help. I can picture Armor snapping the tablet with his brute strength, or Doleful tripping over and ripping through the cords.
釣れないなあ。なら俺も誘ってくれよ。
How cold. You ought to extend that invitation to me. No. We exchange a glance at the unexpected words from this equally unexpected person.
機動探偵、君も手伝ってくれるの？
You want to help too, Renegade Detective?
意外そうな顔だね。最初に会った時、趣味はボランティアだと言ったろ？
Why the surprise? Didn't I say my hobby is volunteering back when we first met?
俺は困っている人を見ると助けずにはいられない性分なんだ。だから探偵をやっている。
I can't help but help when I see someone struggling. It's in my nature. In fact, it's the reason I became a detective. It's striking how insincere he sounds. As usual, I can't get a read on him, but many hands make light work, so it can't hurt to say yes.
ありがとう。じゃあ早速リビングに。
Well, thanks. Okay then, let's head to the living.
私も手伝うよ。一応年長者だからね。
I'll help as well. I do have some seniority here after all.
社畜さん、いたんですか？
Workaholic, you're still here? I reflexively jump back, surprised to see Workaholic next to me.
ずっといたよ。私の影が薄いからって、その反応は傷つくな。
I've been here the whole time. Seems I don't make much of an impression. It kind of stings, actually.
ごめんなさい。でも助かります。
Sorry, but yes, we'd appreciate the hand.
優しい男の子が多くて助かるわ。これならスムーズにタブレットの設置もできそうね。
Teehee, so many nice young men helping out. This'll make setting up the tablet a breeze.
皆さんありがとうございます。それではリビングへと移動しましょうか。
Thanks, everybody. Let's head to the living room. Gourmet pushes Techie's wheelchair out of the room. I start following after them, but when my hand touches the door...
何も企んでないから安心しないよ。
Don't worry, I'm not up to anything. Promise.
口でならどうとでも言えるさ。
So you say, but talk is cheap. I sense a palpable tension between Workaholic and Renegade Detective. Did something happen earlier this afternoon? I'm curious, but also too cowardly to ask, so I continue on to the living room.
すべての監視カメラの映像を確認できました。皆さん、ご協力ありがとうございます。
All surveillance cameras are in position. Thank you for your help, everyone. Clap, 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 clap. Having rearranged the living room furniture, installed the cables, and set up the tablet on the table, our work is finally done. It's now 9 p.m. The room's layout made wiring things difficult, so the process wound up taking much longer than we had anticipated.
カメラの映像はどうすれば見られるの？
How do we view what the cameras are recording?
このテーブルの上に置いたタブレットで見られますよ。
You can use the tablet on the table for that.
トップでは監視カメラの映像の一覧を確認できます。タップすれば大きな画面でも確認可能です。
There's an overview of the surveillance feed on the home screen. Just tap 1 to expand the video.
ヤマトちゃんってば、
Flashing them.
今日も部屋で武道の稽古をしてるのね。
Tee-hee. Oh, Rowdy. Combat training in your room again, I see.
音声は拾えていないのに騒がしい空気がするんだからさすがだよね。
We can't hear anything, but look how hard she's going at it. Classic Rowdy.
音声は聞こえないの？
There's no sound?
はい、聞こえません。スマホのスピーカーだと音声を正確に記録するのが難しくて断念しました。
Correct. Couldn't get clean audio out of the smartphone speaker, so I gave up on it. I'm sure that's going to be like a major point in a bit. It's a bit of a relief to hear that it isn't jot that down, jot that down! It's a bit of a relief to hear that it isn't recording sound. It means I can speak with Holmes in my room without anyone finding out.
科学くん、本当にお疲れ様。これでほとんどの部屋は監視カメラでカバーできたわけだね。
Great work, Techie. This means nearly every room is covered by a camera, doesn't it?
私から探偵デバイスを通じて他の探偵たちにも情報共有をしておくよ。
I'll loop in the other detectives regarding this update via D-pad.
この監視カメラが抑止力となってこれ以上の犠牲者が出るのを避けられればいいのですが。
Hopefully these cameras will be enough of a deterrent to prevent any further casualties.
個室まで撮影されているんだからきっと避けられるよ。この状況で誰かに危害を加えようとするなんて自分は八つ咲き校だって自白しているようなものだし。
It should, seeing as even our rooms are being monitored. Trying to go after anyone now would basically be confessing that you're the Duke.
そうですよね。ありがとうございます、無能さん。
Right. Thanks for the reassurance, Incompetent.
科学ちゃん、作業に夢中でお夕飯あまり食べられていないでしょ。お
Techie,
夜食を作ってあげるから食堂へいらっしゃい。
Techie, you've been so distracted by your work, you've hardly eaten. Why don't you head to the dining room and I'll fix a meal for you?
いいんですか？ありがとうございます。お言葉に甘えさせていただきます。
If you really don't mind, then yes, please. Thank you so much. Gourmet pushes Techie's wheelchair, and the two of them head toward the dining room. I decide that this is as good a time as any to take a shower, but just as I turn to go, Renegade Detective blocks my path. He flashes his iconic shady smile.
ねえ、老子探偵を殺した犯人について二人はどう考えてるんだい？
So, about Senior Detective's killer. What do you two make of it? Workaholic steps in front of Renegade Detective as if to shield me. He answers in a cold voice that betrays his usual calm demeanor.
急な質問だね。悪いが、ノーコメントとさせてもらうよ。
That's rather abrupt of you to ask. Sorry, but I have no comment to give at the moment.
なぜだい？探偵同士推理を語り合ったっていいじゃないか。
Why not? Shouldn't fellow detectives share their insights?
そうだね。君の悪癖。真相にたどり着いているのに引っかき回そうとする癖がなければ乗ってあげてもいいよ。
I'd agree, but for that bad habit of yours, even after finding the truth, you continue to pick it apart. Do away with that, and then we can talk.
心外だな。傷つくよ。
How insulting. You wound me.
まあまあ。
Come on, guys. It's hard to believe how sour the mood got the moment Gourmet and Techie left. It seems the unease I sensed earlier on wasn't just my imagination. Like I thought, something must have happened between these two.
無能君はどう思う？やっぱり八つ咲き校は俺たちの中にいるのかな？
What do you think, Incompetent? Is the quartering Duke really among us?
まだ何とも言えません。でも僕はいないって信じたいです。
I can't say anything for sure yet, but I want to believe he isn't.
信じたいか。それはどうしてだ？
Ah, you want to believe, do you? And why is that?
だって仲間じゃないですか。同じ探偵同士で疑い合うなんて悲しいですよ。
Well, we're all on the same team for one thing. I don't like the idea of having to suspect my fellow detectives.
ピュアな答えだね。刺さるよ。
Such a pure answer. Makes me tingle.
でも妙だとは思わないかい？この島へ呼ばれたメンバーには統一感がなさすぎるじゃないか。
But don't you find it strange? Those of us who are summoned to this island have close to nothing in common.
妙って
Strange. He's right. There's no consistency in our ages, genders, or ranks within the organization. I'd assumed the group was assembled for its diversity and range of abilities, but now that he mentions it, it is a bit odd. I don't find it that odd, I'm gonna be honest. They just get a bunch of good detectives. No guess as to why we were all chosen, Workaholic Detective. You were in charge of keeping touch with Holmes, so you must have heard something. If I had, I would have told everyone.
そもそもこのメンバー選定を行ったのは組織の創始者であるビドックさんだ。私どころかリーダーだって知らなかったと思うよ。
The initial selection was carried out by Vidiok, the founder of our organization. I doubt even the chief, let alone us, knew much about it.
そうかい。それじゃあひとまずそういうことにしておくか。
See. Well, that settles it for now.
まあ書庫で資料を漁った限り多少共通点は見受けられたけどね。
Though I did discover that there's something we all have in common while rummaging through the documents in the study.
共通点って
Something we all have in common? Upon my asking, Renegade Detective withdraws a notebook from his pocket, explaining away as he flips through the pages.
前提として八つ崎港事件には今から13年前に起こった明けぬ夜事件からの影響が指摘されている。
First, let's assume that the Dayless Night incident 13 years ago had an influence on the Quartering Duke cases.
明けぬ夜事件って言えば新興宗教団体が引き起こした大規模テロ未遂事件だよね。八つ崎港事件とどんな接点があるの？
You mean the failed large-scale terror attack attempt from that new religious movement? What do they have to do with the Quartering Duke?
いろいろとあるんだけど、わかりやすい点は2つかな。
A whole lot of things, actually, but I'd say there are 2 points that are easy to grasp.
まず、明けぬ夜事件も本来明王と名乗る謎の人物が犯行声明を出した後、全国的に大量殺人事件を引き起こす計画だった。
First, a mysterious figure known as Lucifer claimed credit for the Dayless Night incident, after which he planned to incite mass murder nationwide.
ビドックや老子探偵たちが事前に止めていなければ、被害は八つ崎港事件を優に超えていたそうだよ。八つ崎港の犯行はまるで明王の後を継いだみたいだと思わないか？
If not for Vidiok, Sr., and Co., the carnage would have surpassed the Duke's. Doesn't that make it seem like the Duke is following Lucifer's lead?
もう一つの共通点は、明けぬ夜事件の犯人たちが製造していた神経毒が八つ崎港事件でも用いられていることだ。
Another clue is that the neurotoxin made by those behind the Dayless Night incident was also used in the Quartering Duke's killings.
この神経毒は個人レベルで製造できるものじゃない。明けぬ夜事件を引き起こした宗教団体の残党が八つ崎港に協力していると見て、まず間違いないよ。
It can't be manufactured at an individual scale, so it's safe to assume the remnants of that new religious movement are working with the Duke.
ねえ、社畜探偵。ここまでの説明に異論はあるか？
Well, Workaholic Detective, any objections to my theory so far?
いや、的確な考察だ。私も八つ崎港は明けぬ夜事件と関わりがあると考えている。
No, your observations are astute. I too think there's a connection between the Quartering Duke and the Dayless Night incident. Renegade Detective smiles contently at Workaholic's words before continuing with his explanation.
そこで俺は気づいたんだよ。この島へ呼ばれた探偵たちはみんな八つ崎港事件か明けぬ夜事件の関係者なのかもしれない。
That's when I realized every detective on this island just may be linked to either a Quartering Duke case or the Dayless Night incident.
関係者？それってどういうこと？
Linked? In what way exactly?
さっきも言った通り、老子探偵は明けぬ夜事件を解決した一人だ。それに美食探偵と社畜探偵、飛脚探偵、大和探偵の4人は明けぬ夜事件で家族を失っている。
As I said, Senior helped solve the Dayless Night incident. Moreover, Gourmet, Workaholic, Doleful, and Rowdy detectives all lost family that day.
どうして君がそれを？
How do you know that?
ほら、俺はよく書庫にこもっていただろう。 あれは探偵同盟に保管された貴重な資料の数々を一通り読破するためだったんだ。
Why do you think I was holed up in that study for so long? Reading through pile after pile of precious Detective Alliance documents takes time.
さすがに個人と直接結びつけられるような情報はなかったけど、俺にとってはあまりにも十分すぎた。まるで宝物庫に思えたよ。
Obviously, there's no information that directly ties to anyone, but for me, it was all too easy to piece together, like finding a treasure trove.
館の探索に手を貸さないのはその調査が目的か。人の過去を詮索するのはいい趣味とは言えないよ。
So that's why you didn't help search the manor. You had your own investigation. Prying into private affairs is a sordid pastime, you know?
おかしなことを言うね。地道な調査こそ探偵の王道じゃないか。
You really do say the darndest things. Isn't conducting an earnest investigation the proper course for a detective?
他の人はどんな関わりがあったの？それに僕は明けの夜事件なんてテレビでしか知らないレベルなんだけど。
What about everyone else? I don't know much about the Dayless Night incident aside from what I've seen on TV.
文学ちゃんは宗教団体明けぬ夜の残党が引き起こした事件の被害者で、魔界探偵がその事件を解決した張本人さ。その後彼女を養子に迎えるなどアフターフォローも完璧。
Bookworm is a victim of a case caused by a remnant of that religious movement. Mystics solved it and adopted her after. Talk about going the extra mile.
それにあのネアカな渋谷ちゃんはなんと親友を八崎港に殺されてる。実は誰よりも八崎港を恨んでいるかもしれないね。
And Chip rolled downtown. Her best friend was slain by the courting duke. I'll bet she hates the guy more than anyone else.
あの渋谷さんが親友を。
Downtown lost her best friend to him? It's like what Dolfo said during dinner. Thinking back, I did feel a sense of rage from someone whenever the courting duke came up. It was Downtown, the girl who knows how to read a social situation. She must have been forcing a cheery smile to avoid spreading any negativity.
現状接点が見つからないのは君とホームズ、家族ちゃんにガック、それと武装ちゃんくらいかな。まあきっと何かしらの接点があるんだろうね。
I still haven't figured out the connections for you, Holmes, Posh, Tech, or Armor, but I'm sure there must be something. That horrible scene from 10 years ago resurfaces in my mind. If that confinement incident is connected to the Dayless Night or the Quartering Duke, then both Holmes and I fit into Renegade's theory. I feel as if there's something I'm still struggling to remember, something I can't afford to forget.
まあともかく俺たちがこの島へ集められたことは確かだ。
Whatever the case, I have no doubts as to why we were all brought to this island.
探偵同士助け合って八崎港事件を解決に導こう。One for all, all for one さ。
Now, fellow members of the fellow members of the Detective Alliance, let us work together to solve the Quartering Duke case. All for one and one for all.
無能君が疑心暗鬼になるような情報を伝えてどの口が言うんだ。
You have some nerve to say that after spewing enough nonsense to have incompetent jumping at every shadow now.
君は人の命を軽んじすぎている。殺人事件を楽しむ君のような奴を私は絶対に認めない。
You act as though life comes cheap. I'll never approve of someone like you, who treats murder cases like entertainment.
心外だな。俺ほど命を重く考えている人はいないよ。神様に誓ったっていい。
Wound me more, why don't you? I value life more deeply than anyone else, you know? I swear it by all that is holy. Renegade's glib words sound recited like lines from a play. It's little wonder that a vein is pulsing on mild-mannered workaholic's temple.
無能君、芸道探偵が今話したことは事実だ。この島に集まった探偵の多くは明けぬ夜事件とその後継者である八崎港に関わりがある。
What Renegade said is true, incompetent. Many detectives here are tied to the Dayless Night incident, and its heir, the Quartering Duke.
はっきり言って 誰が八つ崎校だとしても不思議じゃない。誰が味方で誰が敵なのか見極める目を養うんだ。
To put it plainly, it'd be no surprise for one of us to be the quartering duke. We must determine who is friend and who is foe.
もちろんこの私も含めてね。
That, of course, applies to me as well.
君とはやはり気が合わないな。
I always figured the two of us wouldn't see eye to eye. Renegade Detective lets out a disinterested yawn as he heads to the exit.
探偵とは元来エゴイストなものさ。ホームズにしろ明智小五郎にしろ犯罪者たちよりもよほど身勝手じゃないか。
Detectives are egotistical by nature, from Sherlock Holmes to Kogoro Akechi. They're all more selfish than any criminal could be.
探偵にとって誰が味方であろうとも誰が敵であろうとも大して意味はない。重要なのは自分らしく生き満足できるかどうかだね。
A detective doesn't care who's friend or foe. What matters is whether whether one finds fulfillment while being true to oneself. No.
もちろん助け合うことは有益だ。どんどんやればいい。
Of course, it's in our best interest to help one another, and we should do as much as we can.
でも他者のために自分を殺す生き方なんて探偵失格なんだよ。真面目で家族思いの社畜探偵。
But living like one should die for others makes one unfit to be a detective. Talking about you, workaholic, you upright family man.
君みたいな下道に言われる筋合いはない。せいぜい本性を暴かれないよう注意することだね。
I don't need to take this from an outcast like you. Watch yourself, or you'll end up revealing your true colors. Greatest rivalry ever, Workaholic versus Renegade. Renegade makes his way out of the living room, laughing uproariously all the while. Once it's just the two of us, Workaholic lets loose with a deep sigh, sitting down right where he is.
まったくどうしてみんな自分勝手なことばっかり言うんだ。お腹が痛いったらないよ。
Why must everyone be so selfish? I feel as though my stomach is doing flips.
大丈夫ですか？胃腸薬ならありますけど。
Are you okay? I've got medicine for that if you need it.
ありがとう無能くん。でも大丈夫。大人はその手の医療薬は常備しているものだから。
Thanks, incompetent, but it's quite alright. Adults always have such things on hand.
君の目の前で下道くんとやり合ってしまってごめんよ。昼間に彼と意見がぶつかり合ってしまってからずっとああして喧嘩腰でね。
Sorry you had to see Renegade and me lock horns like that. We had a disagreement earlier today, and we've been at it ever since.
そうだったんですか。
So that's what happened. It figures. Renegade Detective seems to be the obstinate type, and yet...
本当にそれだけなのかな。
Is that all there really is to it? It's hard to believe that their bad blood is only due to a conflict of opinion. Of course, now probably isn't the time to pry into it.
それじゃあ私も今日はここで失礼させてもらうよ。
Well, think I'm going to clock out for the day?
いくら監視カメラが設置されたとは言っても単独行動が危険なことに変わりはない。
Regardless of how many
注意してくれ。
Regardless of how many cameras we've installed, it's still dangerous to be on your own. Please be careful.
はい。ありがとうございます、社畜さん。
I will. Thanks, Workaholic. Now alone in the room, I lean back in my chair, letting my mind linger on the things Workaholic had said.
誰が味方で誰が敵かを見極めろか。
Determine who is friend and who is foe, huh? I look at the security feeds on the tablet and see the detectives in their rooms, each of them passing the time in their preferred way. Downtown does her nails, whereas Rowdy is training vigorously. Armor sits cross-legged in meditation. Doleful is dozing in bed while Posh pens a letter. Everyone has their own circumstances. Each is living according to their own ideals. I refuse to even entertain the idea of one of them being the quartering duke.
みんなで生きて帰れるといいな。
I hope we all make it back alive. My honest feelings slip out of my mouth. I'm startled when they receive a reply.
素敵な理想じゃないか。私よりよほど理想探偵という名が似合うんじゃないか。
Such splendid aspirations. Perhaps the title of ideal detective suits you better than it does me.
ホームズさん
Holmes. She floats over to my side, pressing close to me. It's not as though I can feel the weight of her body, but strangely enough, it still makes me feel warm and relaxed.
しばらく姿を見せていませんでしたけどどこ
I
に
need
隠
to go
れて
get
いた
some
んです
water.
か
My mouth is like dry from already reading. Give me like just 2 secs. I can't say 2 seconds. I can't shorten. Alright, we're back. You've been gone for a while now. Where were you hiding?
思念だけの存在とは言っても私も疲労はするようでな。少しばかり意識が途絶えていた。まあ寝落ちしていたようなものだ。
Despite only existing in the realm of thought, it seems I too experienced fatigue. My mind dozed off for a time, not dissimilar to taking a nap.
寝なくても平気というわけじゃないんですね
So basically, you still need to get some rest every once in a while?
私自身まだわからないことだらけだがそうらしい。おそらく人間の体と同じで1日に6時間から8時間は意識が遮断される時間が発生するようだ。
There's still so much to unpack, but it would appear so, yes. Much like a human body, my consciousness shuts down for 6 to 8 hours a day.
君が私の姿を視認できていなかったことを考えると意識が途絶えている間は君にも私の姿は見えないのだろう。
Since you
我な
mentioned
がらおかしな状態だな。
Since you mentioned not seeing me, I must assume that I'm not visible to you during this period. Quite an odd arrangement, I must say. That makes 3 rules we know about how Holmes functions. A, she can't be more than 3 meters away from me. B, our minds are linked so she can read my thoughts and share my dreams when I'm asleep. And finally, C, her mind shuts down once a day for 6 to 8 hours, during which I can't see her. So even as a living thought, she doesn't have free reign. Talk about inconvenient.
ところでホームズさんはこの洋館の中に犯人がいると言いましたよね
By the way, you said the culprit is still in the manor, right?
ああ、言ったな。それがどうかしたのか？
That I did. What about it?
それは僕たち探偵同盟の中にいるということなんですか
Well, that would mean that it has to be someone in the Detective Alliance, right? Holmes' eyes go wide, and she tilts her head in apprehension.
どうして今さらそんな質問を？疑わしい人でも出てきたのか？
Why ask now after all this time? Is someone acting particularly suspicious?
逆です探偵同盟の皆さんと一緒に行動していると自分の信念をしっかり持っている人たちばかりだって思えて
But just the opposite. When I'm with everyone, all I see is a group of individuals who are passionate about their convictions.
この中に八つ崎港のようなシリアルキラーがいるだなんて僕にはどうしても思えないんです
I can't wrap my mind around the idea that one of them, I'm just adding words, that one of them could be a serial killer like the Cordian Duke.
敵と味方とを見極めるよう社畜さんから忠告を受けましたけど今の僕には全然わかりません
Workaholics said I need to figure out.
何でしょうか
Damn it. Workaholics said I need to figure out who my enemies and allies are, but I have no clue. Am I just not cut out to be a detective?
そんなことで悩んでいたのか。可愛いやつだな、君は。
Is that what's troubling you? You truly are adorable. Holmes motions as if she were patting me on the head, smiling as she continues to speak.
いいか？そもそも人間は敵と味方とで切り分けられるほど単純じゃないんだ。
Consider this, Watto. Human beings cannot simply be divided into friends or foes.
例えば、もし魔界探偵が本当は殺人鬼だったとしよう。その場合、 君は今日彼に助けられたことも悪と断ずるのか？
Let's say, for example, that Mystic Detective is the killer. Would you then call the way he saved you today an act of evil? I'm going to come out and say it. Now that I've realized that it's playing off of Holmes and Watson and all, and they call him Watto, like his name is Watto, I can't help but think of the weird Star Wars Watto character. I wish they would have just fully committed and just called him Watson. His name is Watson. You know what I mean? Unassigned save would. Oh, my bad. I hammered a button on accident. Let's say, for example, yeah.
いや、それは。
No, that isn't.
何を迷う？
Just call him Watson. Part of me wants to just read him as Watson.
どうなんだ？
Whenever it pops up as Watto. Why are you hesitating? If he's the culprit, that makes him your sworn foe, doesn't it?
殺人は許せませんけど、敵とは限らないと思います。まずはどんな事情があるのかを聞かないと判断できません。
I can't condone murder, but I can't see him as my enemy either. I wouldn't judge him without knowing the relevant context first.
そうだろ？善悪、敵味方の基準など状況次第、目線次第でいくらでも変わりうるんだよ。
Well said. Good or evil, friend or foe, these denominations can always shift according to the situation and point of view.
社畜くんが下道探偵を疑うのはわかるが、だからといってワトくんまで仲間を疑ってかかる必要はない。君は君自身が信じたいと思った人を信じればいいさ。
I see why Workaholic suspects Renegade, but you needn't do the same with your fellow detectives, Watto. If you think you should trust them, do so.
状況次第、目線次第か。
Situation and point of view, huh? She's right. I don't know what happened between Workaholic and Renegade, so can't make any judgments. And that's to say nothing of how much I still don't know about the other detectives. I should start talking to each one of them so I can get to know their lives and personalities better.
他の探偵たちと話して彼らのことを知るか。君らしいグッドな判断だ。応援しているよ、ワト君。
Looking to get to know the others better, Good call. Very much a you thing to do. I'm rooting for you, Watto.
心を読まないでくださいよ。
Would you please stop reading my mind?
読みたくなくとも読んでしまうのだから仕方がないさ。私と君は半ば二心同体のような状態だからな。
There's no helping it. I hear you even when I don't want to. We're halves of a whole, you and I. Two minds, one body.
少なくともいついかなる時も私だけは君の味方だ。もっと信頼してくれると嬉しいな。
If nothing else, I will always be at your side, come what may. I would appreciate a little more trust on your part.
ええ、もちろん信じていますよ、ホームズさん。
Well, of course I trust you, Holmes.
ホームズだと？
Holmes, you say? Oh, I hear a voice behind me and swivel around. Standing there is Mystic, a grim look upon his face.
しまった、完全に気が抜けてた。
Shoot, I completely dropped my guard. The sudden interruption sends my heart racing. I shoot Holmes a glance for guidance, but...
いい機会だ。彼に私のことを話してみればいいんじゃないか。
Opportunity knocks. Why don't you go ahead and tell him about me? Holmes giggles next to Mystic, as if this whole situation doesn't concern her in the least. What have I gotten myself into?
文が熱いたからみんなの様子を見に来たのだ。思わぬ収穫だな。すべて正直に話してもらうぞ。
Book is asleep, so I decided to check on you and all. Only to stumble upon chance finding. It is time you told me the full truth. Gulp. Mystic Detective begins to approach me. I wonder if he'll believe me if I say I was just hallucinating like last night. Or maybe that I was thinking out loud. I don't know how to spin this. Indifferent to my panicking, Mystic Detective steps up and poses one simple question to me.
お前はホームズの霊魂が見えているんだ。
Are you able to perceive Holmes' spirit? Whoa! My voice cracks at the unexpected accusation.
話の前に紅茶を入れよう。砂糖はいくつ欲しい？
Allow me to make some tea before we begin. How many sugars do you take?
一つで
3, 1. Mystic Detective prepares tea for 2, then seats himself on the sofa across from me. I had initially thought of him as gaudy, but looking at him now, he appears almost dignified. His actions in the trap room must have swayed me.
そう緊張するな。別に糾弾しようというわけじゃない。
Do not be troubled. I'm not here to rebuke you in any way.
そうそうもっとリラックスするといい。緊張しいなのは君の悪い癖だぞ。
Yes, you really should relax. Tensing up all the time is a bad habit of yours, you know? I want to blurt out that she's the reason I'm so tense, but I tamp it down before it leaves my throat. Holmes floats cheerfully about next to Mystic, relishing in the fact that only I can see her. I finally start to realize how much more childish she is than my first impression of her.
今、ホームズは私の隣にいるのか。
Is Holmes beside me right this moment?
どうして分かって
How did you know? Crap. Stupid me. I step right into that one. There's no explaining my way out of this anymore. Mystic studies me, chuckling wryly at what I assume is whatever stupid expression I'm wearing right now.
探偵のくせに感情が顔に出やすい男だな、お前は。まあ、そこがいいところなのだろうが。
Your face is far too telling for a detective. Then again, perhaps that's a good thing.
どうして僕がホームズさんを見えているって分かったんですかもしかしてあなたにも霊が
How did you know I was able to see Holmes? Don't tell me. Can you see ghosts too?
いや、霊など見えないさ。見えればいいと思って訓練もしたが、そうやすやすと身につく能力じゃない。
I cannot. Much as I sought to master the gift, it is not a simple one to acquire.
見抜けた理由は視線の動きだよ。お前は昨夜悲鳴を上げた時も、今こうして話している時も、私以外の誰かを視線で追っている。
I simply followed the movements of your line of sight. You were gazing at someone other than me, just as you had when you screamed last night.
本当に幻覚が見えている時にはな、視界が歪んでピントなど合わせようもない。よって幻覚ではなく、明確なビジョンが見えているのだと判断したわけだ。
While hallucinating, one's vision turns warped and unfocused. Therefore, I surmise that you are not delirious, but instead seeing clearly.
それじゃあもしかして他の皆さんにも嘘をついていたことがバレバレでしたか
Huh? Does that mean the others figured out I was lying too? If they realize I can see Holmes, they might even catch on to my denouement ability. If anyone finds out, you're certain to be eliminated, Watto. Chill runs through me as I recall Holmes' warning.
私以外には分からない程度の動きだったから安心しろ。そもそも分かったところで霊を信じない他の者では真実にたどり着けないだろうしね。
Fear not, the shifts were too subtle for them to catch. Regardless, their disbelief in ghosts make it unlikely that they would have touched upon the truth.
ホームズの霊を視認していると察せられるのは私くらいなものだ。安心するといい。
That effectively makes me the only person who could deduce that you are able to see the spirit of Holmes, so be at ease. Mystic laughs as if this is all no big deal. He's so quick to catch on that it's actually frightening.
この状況で聞くのもあれなんですが、霊って実在するんでしょうか
This may be a weird time to ask, but do ghosts actually exist?
おかしな質問だな。今こうして私の隣にホームズの霊が見えているのだろう。
What an odd question. You are able to see Holmes right next to me, are you not?
そうだぞ。見えているという現実をそろそろ素直に受け入れるんだ。
Precisely, Watto. It's about time you accept the fact that I'm real instead of protesting. Holmes sides with Mystic to pressure me. Can't even see her, yet in a weird way, they're still ganging up on me. It just isn't fair.
確かに見えているし、声も聞こえているんです。でも、やっぱり不安になるんですよ。
Well, yes, I can see her and hear her voice, but in the end, it really isn't much comfort.
ホームズさんが僕の目の前で死んだのに、また会えるなんて、本当は全部僕の都合のいい妄想なんじゃないかって。 が押し寄せてくるんです。
Holmes died right before my very eyes, so being reunited is hard to believe. I keep worrying it's all some convenient delusion.
バト
What?
なるほど。認知バイアスに陥っているのではないか不安なのだな。
I understand. You fear that you are falling prey to your own cognitive bias.
認知バイアス？
Cognitive bias?
難しい話ではない。今回の場合に当てはめるのならば、自分にとって好ましい結論を導き出すために、その結論へとつながる事実のみを集めてしまうことだと言えば分かりやすいな。
It's not a difficult notion. In this case, it would apply if, in order to reach your favorite conclusion, you only sought out the facts that confirmed it.
お前はホームズとの再会を願っている。本音を言えば、今見えているホームズが本物だと信じたい。
You desire to be
確証が欲しい。違うか？
You desire to be reunited with Holmes. You want to believe the Holmes you see now is truly her, and so you seek affirmation, correct?
合ってます。
Correct. Just as Mystic says, I truly do hope that the Holmes I see now is actually her. Every piece of evidence she provides makes me believe she's the real Holmes, and that fills me with joy.
今僕が見えているホームズさんは本物だと思います。そう思える根拠もあります。
I believe that the Holmes I see now really is her, and I have the proof to support my thinking.
だけどそういった根拠の全ては僕が都合よく捉えているだけなんじゃないかって自分が信じられないんですよ。
But then I think that maybe all that proof is no more than my generous interpretation of things, meaning I can't trust myself.
多くの人間は知らず知らずにバイアスをかけて物事を見ているものだ。無能探偵のように客観的に自分を見ようとする意志があるのなら平気だと思うな。
Most are unaware of their own biases, but as you are willing to subjectively assess yourself, I would say you have little to worry about. Mystic Detective sighs in mild exasperation before patting me on the head.
仕方
I
ある
love
まい。
head pats.
この魔界探偵が直々にオカルトとの接し方を教えてやろう。
There's nothing else for it. I, Mystic Detective, shall personally instruct you in how to engage with the occult.
オカルトとの接し方ですか？
Engage with the occult?
無能探偵よ。お前は吸血鬼や狼男が実在すると言われて信じられるか？
Incompetent detective, would you believe me if I said that vampires and werewolves do, in fact, exist?
いえ、さすがにそんな化け物はちょっと実在するわけがないと思います。
What, you mean the mythical monsters? Come on, there's no way they're real.
そうだな。しかし吸血鬼も狼男も現実に現れ殺人事件を引き起こしたんだ。
Indeed, and yet, both vampires and werewolves have not only appeared in our world, but also been guilty of homicide. What? Mystic Detective operates his D-pad, calling up a collection of files. The case of the vampire, in which the bodies of young girls were found with their blood drained, or rather, consumed. In the case of the lycanthrope, in which a renowned literary scholar's body was found clawed to shreds in a quiet residential area. I know the name of both of these famous cases, and now I see a commonality between the two.
無能探偵、今見せた事件の共通点がわかるか？
Incompetent detective, do you know what these incidents have in common?
どれも未解決の不可解な事件ですよね。ネット上でよく話題には上がりますけど、人間のものとは思えない犯行の手口から捜査は進展しなかったって読んだ覚えがあります。
Both are inexplicable, unsolved cases. I remember them trending online. The crime seemed so inhuman in nature that their investigations went cold.
ああ、だが実はどちらもすでに犯人は特定済みだよ。警察が事件の公表を避けているだけなんだ。
Yes, but in reality the culprits have been identified in both cases. The police simply avoided making it public.
そうなんですか？どうして警察は公表を避けるなんて真似を？
What? Why would the police want to keep that under wraps?
どちらの犯人もあまりにも得意な人間すぎるからだ。
Because the perpetrators were far too anomalous.
未解決事件である吸血鬼事件の犯人ルゴシ・カマラスは移植症と呼ばれる病気にかかっていて、女性の血液を食べることに思考性を感じる男だった。
Lugosi Kamaros, the culprit in the unsolved case of the vampire, suffers from allotrophagy, with an appetite for feasting on the blood of women.
その犯行理由に思い至らなかった当時のハンガリー警察は今でもカマラスを逮捕できずに、未だに現地で語り継がれる汚点の一つだよ。
The Hungarian police struggle to uncover the reason for the crime. They also have yet to arrest Kamaros, which shames them to this day.
移植症ですか。そんな病気が実際にあるんですね。
Allotrophagy? Trophagy? I didn't realize a disease like that actually existed.
極めて珍しいが実在する病気だよ。バラエティ番組で時折取り上げられる土や鉄を食べるびっくり人間などが分かりやすい例だな。
Exceedingly rarely, but yes. Accessible examples can occasionally be found in shocking television features on people who eat dirt or iron.
原因は諸説あるが、カマラスの場合は赤血球の量が異常に多く、常に脱水症状に陥っていたことが原因らしい。水分と鉄分を渇望し、ついには殺人にまで手を染めるようになったそうだ。
Theories abound as to why, but Kamaros has a high red blood cell count, causing constant dehydration. His thirst for water and iron drove him to murder.
赤血球の量が多いということは、筋肉の持久力や回復力に長けているということでもある。そのため、常人では成し得ない動きで警察から逃れることができた。
It also gives him exceptional muscular endurance and regeneration. He is thus gifted with superhuman movement, with which he evades the police.
まるで映画や漫画のような話ですね。
This sounds like something straight out of a comic book or movie.
ああ、しかし実際に起こった事件は、カマラスはその上、犯行から今日まで10年以上もの間、行方をくらまし続けている。本当に恐ろしい男だよ。
Indeed, but this is reality. The crime took place over a decade ago, and Kamaros has been on the run ever since. A truly terrifying man.
だが、私の解決した狼男事件の犯人、志崎美久はカマラスよりもさらに異常な人物だった。
And yet, Miku Shizaki, the culprit behind the case of lycanthrope resolved by myself, is even more bizarre than Kamaros.
吸血鬼よりもさらにって何をした人なんですか？
Huh? Even more than a vampire? What did they do? Mystic clenches his fist, veins pulsing as he speaks.
自分の娘を都合のいい復讐の道具として育て上げたんだ。
She raised her own daughter as a mere tool for revenge.
自分の娘を復讐の道具に？どういうことですか？
Her daughter? A tool for revenge? What does that even mean?
転足という文化は知っているか？とある国では小さな足こそが理想とされ、足を小さくするために幼い頃から極端に小さな靴を履かされていたんだ。
Do you know of foot binding? In one foreign land, small feet were once so prized that youths were made to shape them by wearing specialized shoes.
それなら聞いたことがありますよ。骨格の成長が阻まれて異常に小さな足が出来上がるんですよね。
Oh, I've heard about that. The shoe stunted bone growth, making the feet unnaturally tiny, right? It's difficult to imagine now, but apparently the custom was seen as quite ordinary in this country where small feet were so idealized. In the same vein, many women suffer similarly torturous processes today, such as extreme dieting, in the pursuit of unrealistic beauty.
志崎は転足の要領で自分の娘を小さな箱に詰めて育てた。学校にも通わせず、 ただ人を殺す技術だけを教え続けながらな。
Shizaki followed the principles of foot binding by cramming her own daughter into a box. Instead of schooling, the girl was instructed in how to kill.
その結果、
Oh, that's
信じられない
strange.
ほどわずかな隙間からでも家屋に侵入可能な世界一小さな殺人鬼を生み出したんだ。
In so doing, she created the world's smallest murderer, capable of slipping into dwellings through unbelievably tight spaces.
どうしてそんなひどいこ
How
と
strange.
同じ人間のやることとは思えませんよ。
Why would she do something so terrible? How could any human be that inhumane?
詳細は伏せるが、誰でも持ち得るような嫉妬心が犯行理由だったよ。世の中には自分の破滅よりも他者の成功を嫌う者がいるんだ。
I'll spare you the details, but it was all due to mere envy. There are those who despise the success of others to the point of self-annihilation.
志崎の自宅から見つかった名もない娘は毛も爪も伸び放題でろくに言葉も通じない。人間の形をしただけの野獣そのものだったよ。
The girl found in Shizaki's house had never had her hair or nails cut and was incapable of speech, no more than a beast in human form.
警察はこんな異常な真相を想像すらしていなかった。だから当時6歳だった被害者の娘が証言した狼男が殺したという目撃情報に誰も耳を貸さなかったんだ。
The police couldn't even envision the outlandish truth. As such, no one listened to the victim's daughter, who claimed the culprit was a werewolf.
だからこそ探偵同盟から派遣された私がその子の言葉を信じ事件を解決へと導いた。狼男の実在を視野に入れなければ決して解決不可能な事件だったよ。
But when the DA sent me in, I believed the child, solving the case. Had I not considered the possible existence of werewolves, it would have remained cold.
被害者の娘さんも辛かったでしょうね。父の仇の目撃情報を信じてもらえなかったんですから。
That must have been tough for the victim's daughter. No one believed her eyewitness accounts of her father's killer.
そうだな。しかしお前が警察の立場なら娘の話を信じられたか。
Quite so. But if you were in the police's position, would you have humored the girl?
吸血鬼や狼男の犯行だと言われて素直に信じることができると思うか。
If you were told that a crime was committed by a vampire or werewolf, would you be ready to believe it?
それは
Well, while they were obviously horrible stories, when I think back on my past experiences, I honestly can't criticize the police for their actions. If I'd known nothing about the occult and only read about these cases, I likely would have brushed them off without ever knowing the insane reality.
思うところがあったようだ。
It seems your way of thinking would have hardly differed from theirs. Mystic gives a pained smile, as though he is peering right into my very soul.
だが自分を責めなくともいい。多くの者はオカルトじみた話を聞くと鼻で笑いたがるし、それが当然だとも私は思う。
You needn't be so hard on yourself about it. Most people scoff at the mere mention of the occult, which I think is quite natural.
つい今しがた私が吸血鬼や狼男について尋ねた時、お前が否定してみせたようにな。
Just now, when I inquired about vampires and werewolves, you denied their existence. I can't object at all. I'm no different from anyone else who immediately dismisses the occult. And that's exactly how I'm treating the phenomenon happening to me right now, too.
僕はもしかしたら今の自分の状況もありえないオカルトだと思って笑っていたのかもしれませんね。
I probably thought my current situation was also an impossible supernatural occurrence and laughed it off.
自分一人しか信じられる者がいないとそうなって当たり前だ。
It is only natural to feel that way if you have not even a single person who believes you.
無能探偵、私でよければ死後のホームズが見えているという事実を信じよう。お前のように愚直な男は好みだからな。
If you will permit me, competent detective, I believe you can see the deceased Holmes. She has a liking for honest men like yourself, after all.
ありがとうございます。とても心強いです。
Thank you. That's reassuring to hear. I take Mystic's outstretched palm and exchange a firm handshake with him. It feels as if a burden I've been shouldering all by myself has finally been removed.
今説明した通り、世の中にはオカルトとしか思えないような事件が5万と存在する。その時に常識にとらわれていては真実を見極められなくなるんだ。
As I've shown, the world is rife with that which can only be defined as supernatural. One can never see the truth if they are fettered by common sense.
だから私はいくら滑稽だと笑われようとも、オカルトの実在を信じ、あらゆる可能性を模索する。
Mystic Detective is a bro.
魔界探偵である私にしかできない役割だからな。
Another one ripe for something terrible happening too, and us to be sad. Thus, despite what mockery I may incur, I believe in the occult, never discounting any possibility. Only I, Mystic Detective, can fulfill this role. I see no traces of gloom in Mystic's smile. The man before me, like Holmes, is another top-notch detective, willing to become a martyr for what he believes in.
ホームズさんにも同じことを言われました。可能性を一つ一つ潰していき、最後に残った可能性は事実なんだって。
Holmes said the same thing. Once the facts have disproven all other options, that which remains must also be fact.
それは私が奴に教えた言葉じゃないか。へそ曲がりの少女が偉くなったものだな。
Huh. Those are the very words I passed on to her. To think that little contrarian would grow into such a splendid individual.
魔界探偵め、余計なことを。
Watch what you say, Mystic Detective. Holmes, who had been floating lazily in the air, shoots down toward Mystic. Of course, Mystic is entirely unperturbed, since he can't actually hear her.
魔界さんはホームズさんと仲が良かったんですか？
Were you close to Holmes, Mystic?
奴を主軸として探偵同盟が創立した際に仲間に誘われてな。いわゆる創立メンバーというやつだ。
When the Detective Alliance was established with her at its core, an associate of mine invited me to join. You could consider me a founding member.
魔界さんが創立メンバー？それにホームズさんが組織の中心って。
You're a founding member, Mystic? And the organization was established around Holmes?
おっと、話していなかったのか。秘密主義も度が過ぎると身を滅ぼすと何度も伝えていたんだがな。
Ah, did she not tell you? I warned her time and time again that being overly secretive would be her undoing.
許してやってくれ。悪気はないんだが、あいつは昔から何でも一人で抱え込みがちでな。体を壊すこともしょっちゅうだったよ。
Forgive her. She means no harm, but she tends to take on far too much on her own. Her body was often unable to handle the strain.
その努力が実って、名実ともに探偵同盟のリーダーになったわけだが、私にとっては今でも泣き虫な小娘さ。
Her efforts eventually bore fruit, and she became chief of the alliance both name and deed. But to me, she'll always be a little crybaby.
おい、くだらない昔話などやめろ。ワト君に失望されたらどうするんだ。
Hey now, enough with this ancient history. Are you trying to make Watto disappointed in me? Holmes swings her fists in quick succession, failing to strike Mystic each and every time. It's cute to see her react in a way that matches her age, in lieu of her usual cool self, though I can't really picture Holmes as being a crybaby.
今頃あいつは私に拳を振るっているんじゃないか?
I take it she's swinging her fists at me.
その通りです。
Yeah, you're spot on.
すぐに手が出るのは昔から変わらないな。私もあいつにもう一度会いたいものだよ。
Oh, ever so quick to get physical. She never changes. How dearly I wish to see her once more. Holmes drops her fist, turning to face me. A hint of tears glints in her eyes.
ワト君、魔界探偵にこう伝えてくれるか？
Watto, would you mind telling Mystic Detective something for me? Huh? Even though I'm the only one who can hear her, Holmes drifts close to me and whispers gently in my ear.
ホームズさんが魔界さんに言いたいことがあると。
Holmes wants to tell you something, Mystic.
理想探偵が私に一体何と
A message from Ideal Detective? What did she say?
吸血鬼事件を解決できずすまない。私の意志はすべてこの彼に引き継ぐよと。
She says, I'm sorry that we weren't able to solve the case of the vampire. All my resolve and determination is passed on to incompetent now.
バカめ最後の最後まで人のことばかり考えるな小娘め
Foolish girl. Even after her own demise, she still only thinks of others.
聞けホームズまだ成仏するなよ
Listen to me, Holmes. Don't go resting in peace just yet. I'll say one thing, and I don't mean to say this in a bad way. It's just slightly different, especially if you compare this to something like Danganronpa, but this game is very slow moving. Like this game, I know we're still technically kind of like in the beginning, and I know I'm having to wait because of the whole Japanese voice language, and I'm waiting and then reading after. Even considering all that, like, this game is totally fine with going at like an extremely slow pace to really like have these moments between the different cast members and you and stuff. Like we've seen this throughout, even again, I know we're not terribly far and we're technically still in chapter 2 and all, but this game is willing to just like slow it down and really just have like these long conversations instead of like probably a lot of visual novel stuff I'm most like especially over the last couple years, like most experienced with, where it's like kind of like it wants to get you on the thing and wants you to have like multiple conversations quickly with a bunch of different characters. It's very slow moving. I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just different. Did I read this? Listen to me, Holmes. Don't go resting in peace just yet.
お前を殺した犯人は私と無能探偵とで必ず挙げてみせるその瞬間をしかと見届けるんだ
I swear that incompetent detective and I will catch whoever killed you. When that moment comes, I would like for you to be there.
ああ見届けてやるさだからお前は長生きしろよ魔界探偵
I'll be watching. You'd better make sure to live a good long life, Mystic Detective. Mystic can't see Holmes, and yet they seem to look right into each other's eyes as they exchange words. I notice my drink is nearly empty. The hour is growing late. I really should finish my tea and rest up for tomorrow. But when I raise the cup to my lips...
そうだ無能探偵もしかしてお前は未来を予知することがあるんじゃないか
Ah, that reminds me, incompetent detective. Tell me, can you also predict the future? I spit my tea out at the unexpected question.
その反応やはりそうか予想通りだよ
Your reaction says it all, so it is indeed as I surmised.
どうしてわかったんですか？もしかしてそれも視線で？
How did you know? Was it my line of sight again?
いや今日罠部屋で飛脚探偵を救ってみせただろう気づいたきっかけはあの行動だよ
No. Remember how you saved Doleful in that trap room today? Your actions then tipped me off.
ホームズも予測を得意としていたからもしかしたらと思ったんだまあその浮かない顔を見る限り全然扱いきれてはいないのだろうがな
Holmes was quite adept with her predictions, so I had an inkling. I can tell by her visage that you've yet to master the skill, however.
実はその通りなんです。
Well, you'd be right about that. He saw right through me. Holmes said I can't let my enemies learn about this power. Thankfully, it's only Mystic, but I need to be more careful.
今日飛脚君を救えたの
Only
も
Mystic
完
for
全に
now.
偶然で、どうすれば
Got a bad
この力を
feeling about
使える
this.
のか悩んでいるんです。
It was pure chance I was able to save Doleful. Learning how to use and control his power has been a real struggle for me.
ホームズは何と
What did Holmes say?
原理などどうでもいいと。
That she had no interest in how it works?
さすがだな原理がわからなければ使いこなせないというのに困った娘だ
As expected, and yet, if you do not grasp the principles behind it, You cannot wield it to its full extent. Such a troublesome child.
しっけえな。原理など知らずとも私は使いこなせていたぞ。ワト君だって使いこなせるはずだ。
Rude? I mastered it perfectly well without understanding the mechanics. You should be more than capable of doing the same, Watto. Holmes purses her lips in protest while Mystic Detective lets out a laborious sigh. Needless to say, her words don't reach him.
これだから感覚派の天才は困るな。今後のためにも少しばかり原理について私も考えてみよう。
This is why geniuses who do everything, I'm gonna guess, extempore are so difficult. For the sake of our futures, I shall contemplate your abilities' workings.
よければ今まで経験した話を聞かせてもらえるか。
If you do not mind, would you share all you have experienced up to the present?
時間は平気ですか？
It's not getting too late for you?
安心しろ。私は夜型だ。なんせ魔界の探偵だからな。
Fret not, for I am a night owl. I'm a detective of all that is mystical, after all.
何ですかそれ？
What's that supposed to mean? A mystic brews us another pot of tea. We discussed the denouement ability I inherited from Holmes and my newfound powers of precognition.
なぜ予知ができるのか理屈を考えてみるぞ。
Let us attempt to reason out why it is that you are able to predict the future.
超能力ですし、理屈なんて通らないんじゃ。
Does logic really apply here? I mean, it's basically a superpower.
それは違うぞ。たとえ超能力や魔法であっても理屈は存在する。
That is where you are wrong. Even magic and superpowers have a logic to them.
ゲームの魔法を唱えるにも MP が必要であったり、属性や系統が決められていたりするだろう。たとえオカルトであっても、あらゆる物事に一定のルールが存在するんだ。
In video games, magic requires points derived from your attributes and skills. So too do all things. The occult included follow a set of rules.
ほうけた顔をしてどうしたんだ？
Why do you look so perplexed?
いや、魔界さんもゲームとかするんだなって。
I just didn't take you for much of a gamer.
舐めてもらっては困
I
るな。
love fucking video games.
初代リュウクエを発売日に買った男だぞ、私は。
Do not underestimate me. You stand before the man who bought the very first copy of Ryukyu the day it went on sale.
まあそれはさておきだ。いくら予知能力といえども、根拠を抜きに予知できるわけがない。
But never mind that. Regardless of your prescient abilities, you cannot predict a single thing without a basis in facts.
今日予知をしたときに何か特別なことが起きなかったか？
Did anything noteworthy occur when you made your prediction today?
そういえば、ヒゲフ君の姿を見た瞬間に、頭の中でパチンって音が鳴った気がします。
Now that you mention it, when I saw Dolphin in my vision, I heard something snap in my head.
それと、視界が明滅しました。
My field of view flickered too.
ビンゴだ。ならお前の能力は視覚情報に紐づき、脳が何らかの働きをしていると考えられる。
Eureka! This suggests your ability is linked to visual cues to which your brain responds in some manner.
その線で可能性を探ってみよ
う。Let us continue pursuing this train of thought. Mystic is willing to believe me no matter what I say. I wanted to discuss my precognitive abilities with someone, anyone, but I didn't expect to find such a supportive ally. It's reassuring to say the least. I'm grateful from the bottom of my heart that I'm able to speak to Mystic about this.
楽しそうだな、ワト君。ちょっと焼けてしまうほどだよ。
I can tell you're enjoying yourself, Watto. It's almost enough to make me envious.
はい、楽しいです。あやふやだった謎が輪郭を帯びていくみたいで、ワクワクします。
Yeah, I'm having fun. It's exciting to see the mysterious and obscure start to take shape.
その息だ。君は着実に真実へと近づいているよ。
That's the spirit. No doubt about it. You're gradually approaching the truth.
そう。君が全てを理解した時こそ。
And once you understand it all, I'll...
今なんて？
You'll what?
独り言さ。 気にしないでくれ。
Pay me no mind. I was merely thinking aloud. What? From there, my conversation with Mystic continues all the way until dawn. Strange. Strange.
あれ、ここは。
Huh? Where is this? I realize I'm in a world of pure white. It leaves me in a daze. It's so bright because the rest of my apartment is so dark right now. I realize I'm in a world of pure white. It leaves me in a daze for a moment, but the bizarreness of it all gradually keys me in. I'm in a dream.
今回はすぐに夢だと気づけたみたいだな、バト君。
Well, well, Watto. This time you figured out what that you're dreaming from the outset. Holmes is suddenly right behind me. The abruptness strikes me as fitting for a dream. Sensing I've accepted the situation, Holmes keeps talking as she walks around the area.
さて、問題だ。魔界探偵との話し合いで、君が目覚めた能力、エンドシーイングはどんな力だと結論付けた？
The question is, has your discussion with Mystic Detective led you to discern the nature of your newly awakened denouement? She's referring to what happened before I fell asleep. I rack my brain trying to recollect my conversation with Mystic. It starts coming back to me in bits and pieces.
そうだ。エンドシーイングは正確に言えば未来を予知する力ではなく、全てを見通す力。
Well, strictly speaking, the denouement isn't a power that predicts the future, but one that allows you to see through everything.
視覚情報に起因するものだって中井さんが口にしていました。
Mystic believes it stems from visual feedback.
ああ、ビンゴだよ。人間の脳は本来、視界に映った全てを記憶していて、ただ思い出せないだけだと言われている。
Right on the mark. They say the human brain records everything that it sees, but simply isn't able to recall it all to mind.
実際、今回のメンバーの中にも、見たものを完全に記憶することに長けた文学君もいるしな。視覚情報に対する人間の記憶力は、私たちの想像をはるかに上回っているんだよ。
Even within our group, we have Bookworm, with the incredible ability to remember all she's seen. Our visual recollection is far greater than we realize. That flawless recollection of everything she's ever seen is the cause of Bookworm's suffering. Now I realize why she was so glum about using her ability while we set up the cameras. It hurts to think back on how high my spirits were then. Being unable to forget a single thing must be far more taxing than I can imagine.
さて、本題へと入ろう。見たものすべてを記憶できるなら、視覚を最大限に研ぎ澄ませば、より深い情報を記録することができるだろう。
It's like that, God, this is such a weird reference that no one's gonna understand, but it's like that show, that cartoon way back in the day called, like, Shaolin Showdown. And there was a Shangong Wu that was, like, I always, for some reason, remember that was, like, called, like, I think it was the focus of one episode, but it was, like, called, like, Fountain of Hui, or Fountain of Hui, I don't know how you'd say it the last, Hui, Fountain of Hui, whatever. And it was basically, like, a mystical item you could use, and it basically gave you all of the universe's information, like at your fingertips. Basically, you have access to all information everywhere, basically, but like it was dangerous to use because the moment you have your brain would just get flooded with literally every bit of information, right? So it was like basically you shouldn't do it, and you had to use it and combine it with like something else to like focus if you were trying to find something out, like to narrow the scope or something. But it's like the same thing, only slightly different, and it's such a weird reference for me to make, but it's similar. If you could recall everything and always have at the top of your brain and basically in front of you images of your whole history of everything you've seen, not only do you have all the bad, but it's just probably so much that you're probably just so overwhelmed constantly 24/7. Now for the real question. If you could recall all you see, honing your eye to perfection would allow you to record information in greater detail, no?
では、単純な映像の情報だけでなく、物の動きや微細な事象、果ては私のような残留思念まで世界のあらゆるものを見ることができた場合、何が起こると思う？
Not only images, but movements, subtle minutiae, or a residual thought like me. What would happen if you could perceive all the world has to show?
何が起こるって。
Huh? What would happen?
君も体験した通り、未来がわかるんだよ。それこそがエンドシーイングによる 未来予知の正体なのさ。
As you've already experienced, you would see the future. That is the real nature behind the foresight denouement has bestowed upon you. By knowing everything, you can predict the future. I think I've heard something like that before.
それって確かラプラスの魔でしたっけ？
Isn't that called Laplace's demon?
よく学んでいるね。理屈は同じだよ。
Well done. Yes, this is the same principle.
結果には必ず因果がある。故に因果をすべて把握すれば逆説的に結果を導き出すことができるというわけさ。
Every outcome has a cause. Therefore, if you can grasp all causes, you can derive all outcomes. Paradoxical as it may sound.
じゃあ目に映るものを注意深く見ていけば。
So, if I can pay close enough attention to everything that passes in my field of vision.
ああ、自然と未来が見えるようになるというわけさ。
Yes, it stands to follow that you will become able to envision the future.
魔界探偵と君の話を聞いているうちに私の中でも結論が出たよ。研ぎ澄まされた視覚による因果の把握こそがエンドシーイングの本質であり、君が私を視認できる理由でもある。
I surmise this as you and Mystic spoke. Discerning casualty via sharpened vision is the crux of the denouement, as well as how you can perceive me.
いわば君は全てを見通す目を手に入れたんだ。
Essentially, you have been bestowed with all-seeing eyes, so to speak. My body shivers at her words. Her explanation drives home how amazing this power really is. However, it also raises a question.
これまでは理屈なんてどうでもいいと言っていたのに、どうして急に理屈の説明を？
You kept telling me the principles behind the denouement didn't matter. Why suddenly explain it to me now?
嫌だったんだよ。
I couldn't take it. Huh? Holmes' cheeks flush, a tinge of embarrassment in her voice.
君に頼りないって思われたくなかったんだ。
I didn't want you to think I was unreliable.
これからは魔界探偵よりも私を頼る。私は探偵同盟の序列に理想探偵だ。わからないことなど何もないのだからな。
So from now on, trust me, not Mystic. After all, I'm ideal detective, ranked number 2 in the Detective Alliance. There's nothing I don't know. I must be dreaming. Well, I mean, I am dreaming. But it's all just a bit too convenient. Would the real Holmes actually speak this brashly? I'm taken aback by her out-of-the-blue response, unable to formulate a reply. My face feels hot, like burning lava. I must be as red or even worse than Holmes right now. Just thinking about it is so mortifying that my skin is about to erupt. We stare at each other in total silence, our faces glowing rosily.
ホームズさん、聞きたいことが。
Holmes, I have a question. I speak out, unable to handle any more of this. That's right, I still haven't confirmed whether she really is Saika or not. Saika. If I don't ask now, I may never have another chance. I don't want to lose contact without ever bringing it up. This is a dream, so I trust my chances, find my courage, and voice my thoughts.
ホームズさん、あなたは本当に10年前。
Holmes, 10 years ago, were you really? Don't try and stop me, you slackjaw palooka! Huh? It's morning. I leap upright, awakened by a sudden angry voice. Apparently, I fell asleep on the sofa. I must have passed out while conversing with Mystic, upon which he covered me with a blanket.
すみません、魔界さん。
Sorry, Mystic. It pains me the way I was nothing but a burden yesterday. I don't want people babysitting me. I need to shape up and be a real detective. And then there's that dream I just had.
結局、ホームズさんに聞けなかったな。
I didn't get to ask her after all. I thumped my chest lightly, determined to work up enough courage to ask next time. Enough about my denouement and visual feedback or whatever. I need to stop acting like such a coward and be brave when it matters most. Like I said, ain't nothing to do but do it! This is no time to be down on myself. Angry voices clamor at my periphery as I space out. It sounds like things are getting heated. I need to see what's going on fast.
あ、いたいた。無能先輩ちょっと来てよ。 ヤマトちゃんと武装のアホがマジでヤバいんだって。
There you are, incompetent. You gotta get over here, stat. Rowdy and Armor are going like totally buck wild.
今すぐ行くよ。
Okay, I'm right behind you. A downtown dashes to the entrance hall, pulling me along by the hand.
だから俺たちならあの黒いのをやれるっつってんだよ。
How many times do I gotta say it? We can take that black, whatever it is. Capiche?
時は一刻を争うのだ。我らを信じて外へと送り出してほしいのである。
Time is of the essence. Pray Affy and us, and we shall sally forth.
落ち着きだよ二人とも。今はとにかく冷静にね。
Calm down, you two. Let's try to keep our heads on, shall we?
仲間がやられるかもしれねえんだぞ。冷静でいられるかよ。
Our whole crew could get wasted here, and you want me to stay calm? Armor and Rowdy crowd around Workaholic in front of the door. Their menacing posture makes them look ready to pounce. What's all the commotion about? The words Rowdy blurted stick out to me in particular.
仲間がやられるかもしれないってどういうこと？
What's all this about us getting wasted?
無能殿。
So incompetent.
無能の兄さん。ちょうどいいところに来た。この頭でっかちに何とか言ってやってくれよ。
Hey, perfect timing. Help me talk some sense in these eggheads, will ya? Rowdy approaches me while holding on to the flower vases on display all over the manor.
この花瓶に見覚えがあるだろ。妙な点に気づかねえかい。
You recognize this vase, yeah? Notice anything fishy?
どの部屋にも飾られている花瓶でしょ。見た限りおかしなところはないけど、どうかしたの？
There's one in every room, right? Doesn't seem all that strange. What's up?
どうかしたってレベルじゃねえよ。
What's up? We're way beyond what's up, bub. Bub.
なんとこの花瓶には中に猛毒が仕込まれていたのだ。それも常温で揮発し部屋へと満ちていく毒がな。
These vases, they house the toxin most foul, one that turns into vapor at room temperature, pervading its environs.
じゃあこのまま止まり続けていたら。
Uh-huh. So you mean if we stayed here?
ええ、全員死んでしまうところでした。僕の鑑識遊具ペロペロ君で調べていなければ危ういところでしたよ。
Yup, every one of us nearly died. If I hadn't been investigating with my friend Sniffy Whiffy, I forgot about that. We would have been in dire peril.
科学君、君が気づいてくれたの？
You were the one who discovered it, Techie?
今朝の調査中に偶然ペロペロ君が反応してくれたんです。調べた結果、研究棟の職員殺害に使用された毒と同種であることが確認できました。
Sniffy Whiffy happened to react to it this morning. My analysis confirms it's the same substance that was used to kill his staff at Snarks.
まさか犯人が僕らを閉じ込めた目的は洋館を毒で満たして全員毒殺すること？
So, the culprit trapped us all in the manor so they could off us with poisonous gas?
可能性は考えられるね。もちろん犯人だけは何らかの手段で助かる術を持っているんだろうけど。
It's possible. Though of course the culprit would need some way to survive it themselves.
どうしてわざわざそんな面倒な真似を？
But why go through all the trouble? They killed 22 people at the same time in the research facility. Culprit could just as easily do the same with us if they wanted to. It doesn't add up. Maybe they're just looking to make us panic rather than wipe us out.
社畜さんと今後の対策を練ろうと食堂で話していたのですが、この二人にも聞かれてしまって。
I was discussing our next move with Workaholic in the dining room, but then these two overheard us.
安心しろ。俺が必ずあの黒いのをぶっ壊してやる。
Keep your pants on. When I'm done, that big black doohickey's gonna be a bucket of scrap.
ぶっ壊すってみんなで一緒に戦っても時間稼ぎが精一杯だったのを忘れたの？無謀すぎるよ。
When you're done, have you forgotten how it took all of our efforts just to buy us some time? You're being way too reckless.
あの時とは違うぜ。俺はこの2日間で体の調子を最高潮まで持っていった。今の俺なら黒いのにも負けやしねえ。
It'll be different this time. I've worked myself into shape the past 2 days so I can wallop that thing. No way it'll get one over me.
右に同じである。科学殿にメンテナンスもしてもらって 我が鎧は万全。
I too stand at the ready. Teki hath mended mine armor to flawless impenetrability.
憎き漆黒のからくり兵器に怒りの鉄拳を食らわすことが可能だ。
That loathsome sable monstrosity shall taste the fury of my fists.
落ち着こう二人とも。この2日間何も進展がなくて苛立つのはわかる。
You two need to relax. I understand that you're unhappy with our lack of progress these past 2 days.
でも今ここで早まれば台無しだよ。追い込まれた時こそ冷静な判断が重要となるんだ。
But haste makes waste, as they say. It's more important to keep calm when your back's against the wall.
社畜さんの言う通りだよ。ホームズさんが自らを犠牲にしてまで守った命を再び危険にさらすつもり。
Workaholic's right. Holmes gave her life to protect us. Do you really want to put yourselves back in danger after that? Good. Good. Rowdy flinches, but her expression turns spirited once again as she sinks to her knees, touching her head to the floor.
頼む、俺を信じてくれ。推理では役に立てないかもしれねえが、この拳でならみんなの役に立てるんだよ。
Come on, trust us. I know I ain't much when it comes to head work, but these fists can help you here and now, promise.
我々はこの武力を使ってみんなの役に立ちたいのだ。
We seek only to employ our martial might to the vantage of all. Armor follows Rowdy's lead, falling to his knees and bowing before beseeching us in a piteous tone.
ヤマト殿も我も自分の武力を信じながらも理想殿を救えなかった。仲間が殺されかねない状況でこれ以上黙って見ていることなどできないのである。
Lady Rowdy and I take pride in the strength of our arms, yet we're of no succor to Lady Ideal. We cannot remain idle whilst our allies could be slain.
ヤマトさん、
Struggle there.
そうさ。
Rowdy, armor. I get where the two are coming from. Their areas of expertise don't contribute much to our search for the hidden passage. They were already frustrated, and now there's these poisoned vases that could have killed their fellow detectives. No wonder they're so wound up. I've been totally useless too, so I know how they feel. Seeing as I'm the only one in their shoes, it's up to me to dissuade them.
二人を納得させられる方法は何かないかな。
Now, how can I talk them out of this?
こんな時こそエンドシーイングの出番なんじゃないか。
Perhaps this would be a good time to use your denouement.
命をこんな状況でどうやって。
You want me to make a prediction right here? How would I even do that? I whisper out as Holmes appears beside me. She then begins to explain, her face gentle and mild.
夢の中で解説した通り、エンドシーイングは十分な視覚情報を得ることで、この先で起こる悲劇を予知できる。
As I told you in your dream, the denouement can foresee future tragedies when provided with sufficient visual feedback.
確認したい悲劇があるなら、必要な情報を視認さえすれば、意識的に予知することが可能なんだよ。
So long as the requisite information is in your sight, you should be able to predict these tragedies consciously.
武装君とヤマト君が例の黒いメカに挑めば、死ぬことは明白だろ。どんな結末をたどるのか、確かめてみればいいじゃないか。
It's obvious that Armor and Rowdy will die if they attempt to fight that black machine, no? So, try finding out what their outcome will be.
二人の死を予知しろって言うんですか。
You mean predict their deaths? I respond on instinct, taken aback by how blithely she made her grim suggestion. Obviously, I'm hesitant to foresee the demise of my friends.
よくわかったろ。みんな二人がこのままでは返り討ちにあって死ぬことを察しているが、説得ができずに困っている。
You understand, don't you? Everyone can guess these two will die if they go out on the offense. The real issue is that they won't accept it.
たとえ未来が分かっていても、運命を変えられなければ意味がない。そしてそれこそが何より難しい。
Even if you can see the future, it means nothing if you can't change it. Therein lies the hardest part.
このままでは本当に二人が殺されてしまうぞ。死を避けるためには、未来で起こる脅威の恐ろしさを君が証明するほかないんだ。
If things continue as they are, they both will die. The only way to prevent this is by proving what terrible future lies in store for them.
やるしかないのか。
I just gotta do it. Obviously, I would never want to picture my friends dying. Right now, it's the only way to stop these two reckless detectives. The denouement grants me the power to see all. I focus my vision, scrutinizing the two people whose futures I need to glean.
無能殿
Sir, incompetent.
俺たちをまじまじと見つめやがってどうしたんだよ。
What's the big idea? Eyeing us like that.
いや、実は、そう、ホームズさんに教わったシュミレートという技を使って、武装さんとヤマトさんが戦って勝てるかどうか確かめようと思って。
Oh, well, I'm trying to use a simulation technique Holmes taught me to see if you two can win this fight.
チョコレート？てめえ、いきなりお菓子でも作る気かよ。
Swim Malaysian technique? What, are you gonna paddle all the way down south?
いや、シミュレートね。つまり、あんたらバカ二人が戦った場合の展開を頭の中で再現してみようってことっしょ。違う？無能先輩。
No, stupid. Simulation. He's like imagining what'll happen if you two dumbasses go fight. Am I right, incompetent?
正解だよ、渋谷さん。まだ全然使いこなせないけど、少しは使えるようになってきてね。
Exactly, downtown. I'm still getting used to the process, but I'm getting better at it.
ほら、昨日罠部屋で飛脚くんを助けられたでしょ。あれもこのシミュレートのおかげなんだ。
I saved Doleful in that trap room yesterday, remember? That was thanks to one of my simulations.
ああ、マジのやつじゃん。無能先輩が先に動けてなかったら、飛脚ちゃん串刺しだったもんね。
Oh my gosh, that was legit scary. If you hadn't jumped in, Doleful would have been a shish kebab.
マジかよ。
You serious? Rowdy reluctantly backs down after Downtown's anecdote. Thank goodness. I made that lie up on the fly, but thanks to her, it all worked out.
よし、この調子でヤマトさんたちの暴走を止めよう。
Okay, I'm one step closer to stopping Rowdy and Armor from getting themselves killed. I refocus my vision on the two of them. In order to see what happens in the future, I need to observe them intently, discerning the causes that will lead to the outcome. Can these two even battle that thing on equal ground? At first glance, they appear to be in perfect fighting shape, like they claimed. Things would surely go better than when we got ambushed last time.
もしかしたら本当に二人ならあの黒いメカを倒せるんじゃ。
Maybe they really can take that robot down. Just as I contemplate this, a switch flips inside my head with an audible click. Then, the manner unfolds in my field of view. Well, that doesn't look good. I'm gonna assume that's a lose. In a split second, my vision is soaked in blood. My head burns in pain to the point where I can no longer stand. I totter before involuntarily sinking to my knees. And then, the world reverts back to the entrance hall.
無能殿どうしたのだ
Sir Incompetent, what ails you?
おいおい、何か悪い結果でもシルエットしちまったのか？
What gives? You end up simulating something bad?
考えられる限り最悪の結果が見えたよ。
Yeah, I saw the worst possible outcome. I press my hand to my forehead, which feels as hot as a tea kettle, and stand up, ready to tell them the facts of the matter.
武装さんとヤマトさんはやはり外へ出ていくべきじゃない。シミュレートした結果、今挑んだところで必ず返り討ちに遭うことが分かったからね。
Armor, Rowdy, you definitely shouldn't go out there. My simulations show me that if you try now, you'll get overwhelmed in no time.
な
What?
なんだとこら！
Hell are you going on about?
聞いて、二人とも。
Both of you, listen to me. Rowdy grabs me, but I push her back and continue speaking.
あの黒いメカは落石の衝撃でも傷つかなかったでしょ。肉弾戦じゃ絶対に勝てない。決定打にはならないんだよ。
Even a rock slide couldn't damage that thing, remember? There's no way you'd be able to bring it down in hand-to-hand combat.
そんなこと分かってな。
Lost where I was there for a
だ
second.
から武装の旦那には盾になってもらって、俺がその間に弱点を探すんだよ。
You think we don't know that? That's why armor's gonna be my shield whilst I scope out its weak points.
我の鎧は先の戦いで斬撃を受けても傷つかなかったのだ。時間を稼ぐことは十分できるのである。
My armor sustained nary a scratch when it was slashed in our previous bout. Longly shall I be able to stall out that monstrosity.
武装さん、 撃を受けた場所をかばっているよね。
Your body's still compensating for that spot where you got hit, though, isn't it? Ugh. Armor recoils, completely caught off guard by my remark.
今まで気づけずにごめんなさい。武装さん、今でも痛みが引いてないんじゃない？
Sorry for not noticing until now, but you're still hurting, aren't you, Armor?
時間を稼ぐとなると、先の戦いとは比べ物にならない数の斬撃をその身に受けることになるよ。
If you try,
でも平気なの？
if you try to buy time, you'll end up taking a lot more hits than you did before. Do you really think you'll be fine after that?
それは
That is... Armor hangs his head in defeat. He knows exactly what will happen if he goes ahead with his plan. Or this plan. Besides, in my vision of the future, he was dead and drenched in blood, despite being covered up from head to toe.
話が違うじゃねえかよ、武装の旦那。いくら斬撃を食らっても平気じゃなかったのかよ。
Nah, Incompetence got all wrong, pal. You'll be fine no matter how many whacks you take, capiche?
衝撃は鎧の中まで伝わる。たとえ鎧が壊れなくたって、それをまとう人まで平気だとは限らない。
You can still feel each impact through the armor. Even if the suit doesn't break, the person inside might not be so lucky.
あなたは初めから死ぬ覚悟で外に出ようとしていた。違うかな、武装さん。
From the very beginning, you were fully prepared to walk out that door and die. Am I wrong, Armor? After a long silence, Armor speaks up in a halting voice.
その通りだ。我はこの命を賭して突破口を開く所存であった。
'Tis as you say. I intended to lay down my life so as to secure an opening.
なんだよそりゃ。そんなの俺が納得できるわけねえだろ。
Say it ain't so. I ain't never gonna let you do something like that.
ああ、ヤマト殿が納得するわけがない。だから言わなかったのだ。
Full well did I know you would object, hence why I resolved not to apprise you.
仲間を犠牲にする作戦なんて立てるんじゃねえよ。この大バカ野郎。
Don't go making plans to sacrifice yourself, you king-sized dingbat. Why oughta...
それはあなたが言えた言葉じゃないでしょ。
And what gives you the right to say any of that? I turn to see Gourmet, looking unusually upset. Downtown stands next to her, sticking her tongue out with a cheeky grin. She must have gone and called Gourmet over. That girl really is a clever one.
ヤマトちゃんだって命がけで戦おうとしていたというじゃない。
Weren't you
武装
also...
さんを責められる立場じゃないわ。
Weren't you also trying to risk your life for a chance to fight, Rowdy? You're in no position to criticize Armor.
いやそりゃあんた俺のはあれだ。かつ目算があったというかなんというか。
No, I mean, see, it's like... The thing is, my gut told me I'd win, see?
でもそれ以上に死ぬ可能性もあったのでしょ。仲間を危険にさらすような作戦を私たちが認められるわけないじゃない。
But the more likely result is that you would die. We're not about to approve of a plan that puts our own people in danger.
怒られてやんの。イエーイ。
Someone's in trouble. You hate to see it.
うるせえな。余計なおせっかい焼きやがって。
Shut your trap. Always sticking your nose where it don't belong.
それはこっちのセリフだっつーの。役立たずだからって命がけで特攻って何？それでうちらが喜ぶと思ってんの？
Way to jack my line. What? Just because you don't contribute anything, you're gonna go all kamikaze on us? As if we'd like that. Downtown walks up to Rowdy and flicks her on the nose.
いい？うちらは探偵同盟。うちら全員揃って一つのチームなの。全員で生き残る方法を最後まで考えなきゃダメに決まってるでしょうが。
Look, we're the Detective Alliance. That makes us a team. We've got to think up a way to get us all out of here. End of story.
つうか、役立たずだって言うならうちも同じだわ。一人じゃ何もできないコミュニケーション推理の使い手をなめんなよ、こんちくしょ。
Oh, and I can't use my social deduction by myself, so if you think you're useless, that's like saying I am too. Don't do me dirty like that, biatch.
それと、そこのバカ野郎。
And then there's you, Tin Can.
である
Eh?
怪我したならちゃんと怪我したって言えよ。ちょっとした怪我でも毒とかばい菌とかで死ぬこともあるんだからね。
You better tell us whenever you get hurt. Like, even a small injury can kill you if you're poisoned or even a small injury can kill you if it's poisoned or gets infected. You feel me? My bad.
心配をかけてすまない。
Yes. Forgive me for causing you concern.
はあ、心配とかするわけないじゃん。色物枠が調子乗らないでね。
Huh? You think I'm concerned? As if, Mr. Comic Relief Character.
肝心な時に
Damn, got him.
足を引っ張られるからやめろって言ってんの。あんた、みんなを守りたいんでしょ。
I just
自分
don't...
のことも大切にできない奴が周りを守れるとか思ってるわけ？
I just don't want you, like, screwing us over when the chips are down. You want to protect us, huh? How are you gonna do that if you can't protect yourself?
ヤマトちゃんもバカ鎧もバカなことは考えずに頭のいい探偵たちの指示に従うこと。それが役立たずなうちらの役割なんだからね。わかった？
Bottom line, you two. Quit being stupid and listen to the smart detectives. That's what useless extras like us do. Got it? Got it? Downtown remains the best. Yes. Rowdy and Armor reply in unison, brought to shame by Downtown's tirade.
怒らせたら一番怖いのは渋谷さんかもしれないね。
Downtown just might be the scariest of us when when she gets rubbed the wrong way.
ですね。
Looks that way. Workaholic and I exchange sheepish grins.
それにしても先ほどのシミュレートはすごかったですね。どうしてそんな特技があるのに披露してくれなかったんですか？
Getting back on track, that simulation was spectacular. Why didn't you tell us you had this special ability?
なあ、私もあれには感心したよ。
Yes, it was extremely impressive.
武装君が負傷を隠していたことも見事に見抜いてみせたけど、その鋭い観察眼もリーダーからも期待されていたのかい？
Especially the way you spotted Armor's hidden injury. Quite the observation, that. Was the chief aware that you had such a keen eye?
いや、そんな大したことじゃ。
Oh, it really wasn't a big deal. My reply comes out awkwardly, but I still break out into a grin despite myself. I've never been praised like this before, but what makes me even more happy is that this is the first time I willingly used my denouement. I think I've gotten the hang of it activating on command now. It's like home set of my dream. My vision is the key. I can see the future by focusing on the necessary info all around me. And I've noticed something else too.
ちょっと着替えたいので自室に戻りますね。
Did he shit himself? What? I need to change. I'll be in my room. The moment I say this, I begin walking toward my sleeping quarters. Okay. We'll end there then for the night since the scene is changing. A nice couple hours here. Like I said, we had an extended stretch with fucking Mystic. He seems cool. He seems, at least as of now, he's the only one who knows. It kind of makes sense. My guess is that this is gonna the information and me being able to see Holmes might spread somehow, and maybe that potentially, I don't know, sows mistrust between the group somehow. Who fucking knows? And then obviously we get that. We get the two here wanting to still go out and fight. Can't do that. And yeah, I'll be excited to read more of this. Like I said, I think it's a slow-moving visual novel here so far. Whether that's just because we're at the start and we got to set all these characters up and all the, maybe once we get to like the second half or something, maybe it'll go super fast or it'll pick up its pace. But my guess is that I think it feels like it's just much more slower, much more thoughtful, slow-paced kind of thing, which I'm totally down for. Like I said, we'll do one more Process of Elimination stream at least sometime this week. Tomorrow, the plan is to start early and do Silent Hill F as New Game Plus, and then we'll see how the rest of the week goes. New game on Thursday, I believe, so I'm excited for that. And yeah, I gotta head out real quick, so I gotta awkwardly... Oh, let me make sure I save before I forget. And yeah, we'll definitely be reading this more this week at some point. Hopefully even a bigger chunk than 2 hours that we did just now. So yeah, Be back tomorrow with Soundhill F. Hopefully start in the morning, some point in the morning, and just go for several hours. So until tomorrow, take it easy. Bye.